Hello everyone! We have mastered the demand and supply model and understand how it finds a stable equilibrium. Now we get to use it. In the real world, things are always changing. A new technology is invented. A heat wave affected crops. A product becomes suddenly popular. Today, we will learn the three-step method to analyze how these events or shocks affect the equilibrium price and quantity. This is how you apply the theory to become an economic analyst. Analyzing any change in a market involves a simple, repeatable three-step process. For any given event, you must ask yourself, Step 1. Which curve is affected? Does the event affect the consumers, demand, or the producers, supply? Does this change affect buyers' willingness to purchase or sellers' ability to produce? Step 2. In which direction does the curve shift? Remember, rightward shifts represent increases in demand or supply, while leftward shifts represent decreases. Step 3. What happens to the equilibrium price and quantity? We find the new intersection point and compare the new PE and QE to the old ones. Let's apply this method to a few real-world scenarios. Let's start with a market for ice cream. The event, a sudden, intense heat wave occurs. Step 1. Which curve? A heat wave affects consumers' desire for a cold treat. This is a change in tastes and preferences, so the demand curve is affected. Step 2. Which direction? People want more ice cream. This is an increase in demand, so the demand curve shifts to the right, from D1, let's say, to D2. Step 3. What happens to equilibrium? We start at our original equilibrium, E1, with price PE1 and quantity QE1. The new demand curve, D2, now intersects the original supply curve at a new point, E2. By looking at the axis, we can see that at E2, the new equilibrium price, PE2, is higher and the new equilibrium quantity, QE2, is higher. What is the conclusion? A heat wave leads to a higher price for ice cream and more ice cream being sold. Let's stick with the market for coffee. The event, a severe frost in Brazil, destroys a large portion of the coffee bean crop. Step 1. Which curve? This effect affects the ability of producers to produce. It is a natural disaster affecting the condition of production. This affects supply. Step 2. Which direction? The frost reduces the amount of coffee beans available. This is a decrease in supply, so the supply curve shifts to the left from S1 to S2. Step 3. What happens to equilibrium? We start at E1, P1, QE1. The new supply curve, S2, now intersects the original demand curve at a new point, E2. At E2, the new equilibrium price, PE2, is higher and the new equilibrium quantity, QE2, is lower. What is the conclusion? A frost that damages coffee crops leads to a higher price for coffee and less coffee being sold. There are 4 basic changes you must know perfectly. We have just done 2 of them. Let's summarize all 4. Demand increases, shifts right. Price increases, quantity increases. Our ice cream example. Demand decreases, shifts left. Price decreases, quantity decreases. For example, a health scare about a product. Supply increases, shifts right. Price decreases, quantity increases. For example, a new cost-saving technology. Supply decreases, shifts left. Price increases, quantity decreases. Our coffee example. You should practice drawing these 4 diagrams until they become second nature. Let's apply the 3-step method to analyze another real-world scenario. What happens when a city experiences a tech boom that attracts thousands of new workers? Step 1. Which curve? The influx of workers increases the number of buyers in the housing market. This affects demand, not supply. Step 2. Which direction? More potential buyers means demand increases, shifting the demand curve rightward. Step 3. New P and Q. The result: housing prices rise and more homes are sold. This explains why cities like San Francisco and Seattle experienced dramatic housing price increases during their respective tech booms. Let's see now the common mistakes to avoid. Confusing movement along versus shift. A change in price causes movement along the curve. A change in other factors, income, preferences, technology, input costs, causes the entire curve to shift. Forgetting ceteris paribus. When analyzing one shift, assume all other factors remain constant. In reality, multiple factors may change simultaneously, but for analysis purposes, isolate one change at a time. Mixing up supply and demand determinants. Consumer income, preferences, and population affect demand. Production costs, technology, and number of sellers affect supply. Keep these categories separate in your analysis. Let's recap the powerful tool we have learned today. 1. To analyze any market event, always use the three-step method. Which curve, which direction, what happens to P and Q. 2. Start by drawing the initial equilibrium. Then shift one curve. Find the new equilibrium and compare. 3. Mastering the four basic shifts: demand increases, decreases, supply increases, decreases, is the key to applying the model successfully in your exams and in understanding the news. You are now able to predict the consequences of real-world events on market prices and quantities. Thanks for watching. We will continue to use this essential tool as we explore more complex topics like government intervention. If you found this practical lesson useful, please like and subscribe. See you in the next video.